Thank you very much for the questions. News 24, will people sit down and write essays? The ANC process in terms of membership constitutionally allows for membership lapse. There is a period in terms of the constitution. So we are saying that it should not just be automatic, that after the lapse of membership, you just come back without undergoing a process. And that process is not defined in the Constitution, but we're enhancing that you can write or you can be interviewed, because some of the people can't write in terms of our members. Why you think it's important for you to continue to be a member of the ANC? And then to deepen the understanding of members. Branches and joining the ANC is not happening at Luthuli House. People are not recruited from here. Recruitment and organizing branches is happening at the local level, at the branch ward level. So the branch secretary and the branch executive are responsible for this recruitment. So they know these members. They can talk to them, engage them about why they think that it is in their interest to renew the membership of the organization. That enhances consciousness. Now we're talking about members. We don't even talk about supporters. We're talking about a person who have deliberately taken a decision that I don't just want to support, I want to join, to be a member of the ANC. So being a member of the ANC means you follow the brand, you are party to it. At the end of the expiry of your membership, you want to renew your membership. So you explain yourself. It's not a punishment in any way, but it enhances consciousness and a sense of belonging and pride into the brand of the ANC. So it's not really essays or whatever that it is, that before you join, when you are recruited, you must write. No, it's when after your membership have lapsed and all of that. So if you are a society, which we are not, we are an organization, but we operate alongside, there are certain rules that govern how members get to pride themselves with the brand that they follow. And at the same time, each organization and societies have got their own rules. So as part and parcel of the renewal, because we're a political force with clear mission and objectives, it is important that we must continue to revive the consciousness of the members of the ANC. Yes, people, when they are affected in terms of the Integrity Commission, they recuse themselves, including the president. So when we were discussing the Integrity Commission, he recused himself, so he was not there. So I'm just giving you an example. So if you are affected and you are a member of the NEC, you recuse yourself, but other people are not members of the NEC. So the NEC discuss their issues in their absence. In terms of the letter for motivation, I think I've covered the point which Mawande also is raising, which I'm coming to his questions. We have covered that particular question in terms of it's not necessarily something like it is a prerequisite before you join again, but it is important in reapplying for your membership. Consciousness must be enriched in a particular way. So that's what important. Criteria of the panel, we will appoint the panel among the best of the ANC, who are experienced, who are veterans of the organization. The panel, it's a decision of the National Conference that we must establish a panel. All what we have done this past weekend was to agree that that panel is part of the resolutions of the conference, that it must now be established. It's not a new structure. It's a structure of appeal on matters of integrity. The same as on matters of discipline. If the disciplinary committee has found you guilty, you can apply for appeal in the NTCA. So integrity at the conference, the issue was that there is no recourse. How do we engage with the decisions of the Integrity Commission? Long before they come to the NEC, because the NEC is the final arbiter where you can appeal, and the National Conference, not even the NEC is the final arbiter. Let me self-correct. It is the National Conference where you can appeal your membership if you are expelled and so on. You can go up to the National Conference to appeal. So in this instance, the appeal panel is for the matters of the Integrity Commission. So that is what it is there for. It is not a watchdog, therefore. It's not a watchdog. It's not looking over the Integrity Commission. A watchdog is something else, actually. A watchdog, in meaning, it is something that oversees the other structure in terms of reviewing its decisions and so on. So the ANC, what it does, it enhances its own checks and balances in order to give members a fair chance to a hearing and so on. But also Integrity Commission is to educate people, because other people go to the Integrity Commission and then they conflate ethics with acts of criminality. You know, a simple conduct can be an unethical conduct that bring the ANC in disrepute. So that's what the Integrity Commission is judging. You know, it's not like DC that you have committed acts of criminality and all of that, of course, which have got an impact on the integrity of the ANC, and then you go through the DC and decisions are taken and all of that. Here in this instance is that it is alleged you have done this thing. You explain yourself. But are you aware that the actions that you have taken have affected the ethical standing of the ANC in society? And therefore we think for you to correct, you have to undergo the following things. There's a lot of things we still need to improve in terms of the Integrity Commission, because these are uncharted waters. The set of things that are defined as acts of ethical conduct, misconduct, and what are those? So we have to improve going forward in terms of the work of the Integrity Commission. The strategic setback, it means that you have not lost power, but you don't have unfettered majority. That's what it means. So it's a strategic setback in a sense that you still have got a hold over power, even though not 100%. Meaning, it's a recognition that you've got a largest party, which is a difference from a majority, overwhelming majority, unfettered majority. That's what it means. So it means you cannot forsake that little that you've got in the context of many. If the ANC did not have the largest majority, do you think all these parties will work with the ANC? In the words of another leader, they will surgically remove the ANC from power. And the reason why we are not talking to anyone with a cap in the hand is because we are the largest party. And at the same time, the reason why we are not going to the backbenches is because we'll become the biggest opposition. And we will have forsaken 6 million people who still believe that continue to govern in this country. We still want you, we follow your policies. We'll have betrayed them. And that just surrendered power in that sense. So safeguarding power meant that you've got to take particular steps with the recognition that this is not entirely a loss, but it is a setback, although it's strategic, a setback in a sense. So, some investigations on leaks. Are we not clamping down on we are not. We are defending the integrity of the ANC. It is wrong for a faceless source constipated with factionalism, overeating factional politics and constipated to distort the ANC at the highest level of the NEC. We communicate this resolution, there is somebody who's constipated there, and then he says, no, that is not true, and is the most trusted. It's the most trusted. And they give you see, when we give people documents in the meeting, those documents are subjected to discussion. They are not resolutions. What is a resolution is what I'm reading here as a statement of the NEC. What I presented to the NEC in the diagnostic report cannot be quoted as a resolve. It's an analysis which has been subjected to a process of discussion. So the faceless source will go to a document, lift things that have been processed and not decisions of the ANC, and give them to the journalist. They don't give you this resolution, the faceless sources. They don't say, no, we resolved that so-and-so must be expelled. No, they say, no, there was a long debate. He was not expelled. It was 50-50. That's what they tell you. So when I come and brief the nation and the branches that, no, so-and-so is expelled, there is a hotline ahead before I come to explain the decisions that says, no, there was actually no decision. The NEC was split in between. And I mean, I come here, I look like Ito, Kinje, and all of that. So the ANC's integrity in terms of is undermined by faceless sources who've got no shame of themselves and their standing in the organization. We can't blame the media for that. The media can't be blamed for working with faceless sources. That's how you operate. But members of the ANC must self-respect. What tools are we going to use to engage? That's our secret also. That one is our secret. But we're going to engage. And we have explained to you publicly that we'll use forensic means to determine who in our ranks have decided to work with the media. And others even go further to brief the opposition. That's it. It's better the media, but opposition is another thing about the ANC and all of that. Now, I was in the National Executive Committee. There were leaks from Saturday, Sunday, about the outcome of the NEC. Ramaphosa cleared, and the Integrity Commission, terms of reference, whatever, enriched. Before that meeting, I said to you, we'll deal with integrity, commission reports. And two, I said to you that we will finalize terms of reference. So, which were not finalized. Now they are finalized. I'm meeting with the Integrity Commission sometime this week when I come back from Cape Town to give them a report of the NEC in detail. What have we resolved? Which cases have we dealt with? And all of that. And so that's what we will be dealing with. So it's not undermining freedom of the press. What we're doing has got nothing to do with the press. It has got something to do with people undermining the communication strategy of the ANC and the standing of the ANC in society by way of miscommunication, distorting decisions of the ANC. If I'm a journalist and Mbalula is your source as the Secretary General, why wouldn't you write? Ubambe inkunzi mos. I mean, upete upopo. The SG is leaking. We are what? Is leaking to Khutatu. Unangapali mfo. When we challenge you, are going to say, I stand by my source. Yeah. And the law protects you. That is freedom of the press. There's nothing we can do about you. You are protected because you will tell only your editor. Now, we will never know who's the source. So we can't sit with people masquerading as leaders and then which are expected to have impeccable credentials, to respect their organization, and yet they release information. Bayavuza, bakhupha imfihlo zombuto, kanjalo nje. So we can't allow that. And of course, you are right. They think that in their mind, we will not find them because there's Poppy Act and all of that. We will teach them that every party, even if it's a security company, anywhere else, when it is attacked, it has got the right to use any measure in the law to defend itself. There's nobody who will come here to Lutuli House and tell me if you leak the decisions of our meetings and I found you, through the law means that I must not defend the ANC. The National Conference is going to ask a question. What did you do to defend the ANC? Members of the ANC don't like these leaks because they themselves are not in the NEC. So, members whom they've elected to lead are the ones who show that they've got no integrity. Actually, they elected the wrong people. When we avail ourselves of the record, on the record, that's Mahlengi's role. And if the media doesn't find us on an issue, it's another story. That comment is sought even on difficult questions. When journalists wake us up and say this and that, even if you don't like the question, as a media person of the ANC, you cannot have feelings. They can ask you things that you think that they are irrelevant and all of that. You can't have feelings. You are a communicator. You must have shock absorbers. Even if they can ask you that, I think that you people are stealing. We are even more scared. But you must have shock absorbers to say, what do you mean? Can you write down your questions? I can answer them. And then that is it. And we are equally not obligated to answer everything. Based on our, it is our prerogative that we exercise. It's a media strategy that every party or individuals actually follow. Mashatile's remarks, we have discussed that with the DP. Those, you interviewed him before the NEC decision. Now decision of the NEC is here. And DP was actually clearer in terms of his answer. You asked him about this question, about this question, DP. And he answered a proper question. He answered properly. He said that when they want me, I will raise my hand. And then that was it. In terms of the ANC rules now, directive, we don't want that. No leader should be answering such questions. Every ANC member must be preoccupied with service delivery, cost of living of the people and all of that. This item will come. It's not like it is fast, people are not discussing leadership, they are not doing anything. It cannot be our agenda now in 2027. It cannot be. We still have got an election to win in 2026. We've got a program of action to implement of rebuilding the ANC. If we now preoccupy the ground and everywhere else and our membership with conference and leadership, that is personal aggrandizement which have got nothing to do with what we have characterized as a setback in this moment we're in. Where are we? We have lost the biggest majority, yet the biggest priority of the ANC is who becomes a leader. No, we can't allow that. We have drawn the line. That line is going everywhere. You speak, yeah, we we attend to you. Wherever it happens, Youth League, Women's League, Veterans League, nobody is allowed. We will communicate this also to our allies and so on. But nobody is allowed, members of the ANC, to deal with this matter. We have dealt with that issue with the DP. We discussed and he explained and I understood perfectly. We understood each other and I don't think there was something wrong with what Paul said in terms of that answer. But it could be used to fuel the succession debate in the ANC, which we don't want. Not that it will not be there. Not that people in the ANC are not discussing this matter. They are. The critical question is that we must open a discussion at the right time, and we said that discussion will be guided by a political perspective. Now, we are embarking on renewal, we are embarking on rebuilding of structures. That's what this National Executive Committee have directed, and this is what we must implement. There's not going to be another meeting to conceptualize a program of renewal and rebuilding. It is there. It is concluded. The next meeting of the NEC is to get a report from the SG. How far are we with the rebuilding? What is happening with the rebuilding? Membership, political foundation. What are we doing with all of these things we have agreed? Integrity Commission. What is happening? Are we consistent now? We've got terms of reference. Are we doing the right things and in the way we are doing them? So our job at Luthuli House is to oversee the revolution of organizational renewal at the highest level in the ANC. And the Commission of Organizational Renewal also must function to oversee these programs are actually implemented. Uniformity on coalitions. Unfortunately, Samkele, you can never reach uniformity. You get into another place, you find that, look, first, our guiding principle in terms of coalitions is that the party with majority must lead everywhere, okay? And then you go and talk to political parties, they don't agree with that. They don't agree with that. You've got an option to be an opposition and all of that. And then they say, no, we agree, but we want mayorship. A party with no majority. And then you are the biggest party. And then parties that are supposed to be working together for stability, bigger parties, which is what should happen in a democracy. A party that have emerged, 1 and 2, must work together to govern. They don't find each other. Like we don't find each other with the DA in the coalition talks in Gauteng at the local level. But if the ANC and DA were to come together in a coalition, work at the local level, and the IFP and everybody like it happened in KZN, will you have instability there? No. There will be water. Council will sit on time because the two contending powers are governing. And then there will be services. Mayors won't change week in and week out. Now, with small political parties, there is a risk. It's what we call not even a grand, is it a grand coalition? Yeah. A grand coalition has got risks. You get blackmailed there by somebody you can't leave. Blackmail beyond blackmail to the point of abuse. You can't leave because you don't have partners, you've got this person. This is what others wanted to lock us in. And we said no. Because today we have a GNU that we have with all the political parties that are... You have come with all the nefarious intentions to disrupt this press conference. But I must tell you, you won't succeed. So, yeah, exactly. So, Kotato, the last point is Kotato. The leaks matter, I've addressed it. ANC is not rogue. We won't do illegal stuff or intelligence. We don't have that capacity. But we can do things like even legal firms do, legally. Employ forensic people to help us defend ourselves against rogueness and distortion of our views. And that is it. And I can see your look, you are thinking about your phone, and that you are an independent journalist, so you can't be tapped. No, we can't. In terms of the Poppy Act and all of that, we don't even have such powers. We don't do that. We investigate how these things actually happen, and there are many mechanisms to do that. Did we discuss KZN and Gauteng? We did not. We are going to discuss them in the last NEC of the year. We are supposed to go back to Gauteng and KZN to finalize our discussions with them about what we have gathered on the ground and what we believe must be the way forward. The reason why we did not include that discussion in the agenda is because we did not want to conflate issues. This NEC was methodological, clinical, straight to the point, integrity and rebuilding the NC. So we're going to implement all of what has been agreed by the special NEC. We came from a 6-day meeting where we analyzed what happened in the election. And then we summarized, we said, this is a strategic setback. And then we said that GNU is not an end in itself. It's a tactical maneuver. It can actually collapse, or it can withstand its time for 5 years. So the possibility that the GNU can collapse, or other political parties in the GNU, let me not say GNU collapse, that other political parties can leave the GNU, it's high. Not GNU, that other political parties can choose to leave, they can. But GNU will not collapse, because